Hello everyone. So we've got Ashwin and Yuvan here, two of the biggest movie maniacs I've ever known in my entire life, and I'm a movie maniac myself. So today we're gonna have a podcast here actually, and we're gonna discuss a lot of topics. So hi Ashwin, hi Yuvan. I hope you all are doing well. What was the last film you both watched?
Drishyam
What?
3,
Oh, Drishyam 3.
yeah,
How
theater.
was it?
Nice, but not up to the expectation.
What about you, Yuvan?
Yesterday I watched Godfather, a legendary movie, and before
Oh,
that I
classic.
watched a Fincher film, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Damn, that's great. First topic of the day is recently, Martin Scorsese, that is a very famous filmmaker, has said that it is very important to use AI in filmmaking. While, if I'm not wrong, a lot of young filmmakers themselves actually are against AI in filmmaking. What do you guys think about the use of AI in filmmaking, especially after Oscar? Uh, that is the Academy actually have announced that if they use AI in any movies, we won't consider it as eligible for the Oscars. What do you guys think about it?
AI can be used as maybe a graphic enhancer, but not as like a direct filmmaking tool. It cannot be used to nowadays. I saw a short film. It was fully made of AI. The story, the even there were not even real actors. It was just like floppy AIs.
What about you, Yuvan?
I think AI should, yeah, I completely agree with the Oscar board, and I completely agree that AI shouldn't be used in filmmaking and it shouldn't even be considered as a film for the Oscars if it uses AI. But if the movie, it won't be original, the movie. And I think AI is it just does the human work, it replaces humans. And then what's the point of it? Soon AI is going to replace filmmaking. There's a chance that happens, and this is a good decision because this makes sure that none of the filmmakers really rely on AI.
Well, that's a good point by both Ashwin and Yuvan. But at the same time, it does save the time and cost for any filmmaker actually who wants to make a film that filled with visuals, but does not have the budget or time to do it. Actually, what do you think about this point of view, guys?
When you use AI, your work is not original. That's what I feel. There's no blend of creativity in it.
Look, in a movie, there is a thing called a director's touch. Like both Apurva Sagodharargal and Marcel, they were both same storylines, but there
Yeah,
is a difference between Singidam Srinivasa Rao's filmmaking techniques and at least filmmaking techniques.
yeah, completely agreed actually. So, guys, well, I think you guys agree with what the decision of the Oscars. By the way, you guys are speaking, but let's talk about how a lot of young filmmakers, that is, now not everyone can make it to the big stage, can they actually? So through YouTube, actually, many people make short films, many people create music videos, and they somehow make it to the big stage. Actually, what do you guys think about it?
They should be able to do it, not just someone who comes in YouTube or shorts or reels. We should make them come to the big screen. If they are not eligible or worthy of it, they should not try.
And a notable example which we could take is Obsession, which is made by
Yeah,
Curry Barker, who is a it's an indie film first of all, and
yeah.
it's a very low budget movie. And you know Curry Barker, he was a YouTuber.
So if I have to discuss about the film, actually, I think the film is technically brilliant, and after having an analysis of the film, actually, I realized a lot of things. Like, I feel this film is quite similar to the film The Shining. Have you guys watched The Shining?
No.
No.
Well, I think the characters and the shots, I think Kari Baka might have taken inspiration from the film, actually. But more importantly, it's very interesting to see how colors are used to show symbolism. Like, spoiler alert, guys. When the main protagonist, is trying to commit suicide. Actually, the room that he's in is actually painted in green. So green signifies death. So something like that. Actually, I think that's my own interpretation. Today's generation, when youngsters are busy chasing reels and short format videos, actually,
Hmm.
don't you think it changes the way they perceive movies?
Yeah. First of all,
Yeah.
due to social media, Instagram, YouTube, and all that, the attention span of people has reduced to a very large extent. People nowadays, they don't have a really good attention span because as they watch reels and all these short format videos, they keep scrolling down in reels, which lowers their attention span. When they watch movies which are a bit slow or a bit, if the pace of the movie is not that great, people won't like it in this generation. They'll say it's too slow because they're not exposed to
Quite surprising
patience.
to see how Ashwin, who is actually part of the younger generation himself, is actually appreciating a lot of films, a lot of classics actually. That basically, no matter if the pacing is slow or fast, actually, soft power is actually soft power for the audience if they don't know actually. So examples of this is the Korean culture, the Korean movies that are actually been quite trending nowadays, and such movies actually have encouraged awareness about Korean culture, and it has also increased tourists to South Korea. In fact, America has been doing this for a long time. Actually, many people have been visiting the United States after watching films like Avengers or any other American movies, right?
uh,
And even a recent movie came in that that storyline. It's soft power, yeah.
Yeah.
Made in Korea. Priyanka Mohan in Netflix. It's about a girl who goes to Korea watching those Korean films and series.
and another example could be this film which came out in 2019, in 2019, Parasite.
Which- Oh, Parasite. Yeah.
It's a great film and it
Okay.
represents, the Korean life.
I have only one question for you both, actually. What do you guys think about the fact that like South Korea has been achieving a lot through soft power, America has been achieving through a lot through soft power, but why can't India do it actually? Like, India, yes, Bollywood is famous all over the world, no doubt, but why is it not as strong as the American or South Korean soft power? What do you guys think about it?
Because they portray their culture or many things that they follow in a right way. But look here, in India there are many religions, cultures, regions, like many uh, diverse country, India. And Bollywood is now trying
Yes.
to portray South Indian cultures, but they are portraying it in a wrong way. You saw Param Sundari, but I didn't see it, but I saw just like, scenes from it. They
Hmm.
are portraying a woman from Kerala. It was so bad. It was in a so bad way. And even Chennai Express was from a, you know,
Very stereotypical.
it had
Yeah, very
a,
stereotypical film actually.
but they did it wrong. No use.
But then, on the other hand,
So
as
we cannot use soft power.
we have films from Rajamouli, such as RRR,
Yeah.
Bahubali. These type of films are classic films, which are,
Yeah.
yeah. So they represent Indian culture.
And that has also been quite trending across the world actually. So that is another example. So I guess Indian soft power is slowly building up,
Hmm. Yeah.
isn't it? Like soft power has always been there actually, right? Uh, let's talk about Dhurandhar actually. Dhurandhar, I think you both have watched actually. I hope you guys watched it. It's a great film and I loved it and I watched it twice. What do you guys think about it actually? What's your opinion on it?
As a pat, as a patriotic movie, it was nice. But Durandar Part One, in in a cinematic manner, it had no character arcs. Of course, Durandar 2 had some, but Durandar 1 did not develop uh, characters. You know.
Well, that is a controversial take. What do you think about it, Juven?
So basically, I'm on Letterbox. So in that, I have
Yeah.
a criteria to assess a film, how good a film is. First, cinematography. Durandar, let's talk about the cinematography out of five. What do you think, Ashwin?
Out of five, Durandar 1 or Durandar 2, you're asking?
Durandar one.
2.5.
That's a bold one.
How about
Oh,
you?
Why do you
over
think that?
hyped.
What about you, Arjun? What do you think?
I loved Dhurandhar 1. I think the cinematography was great, and the way they used the camera angles, the colors,
Yeah,
everything was great actually. I found it great, especially in that scene where he's going to meet Yalina in the nightclub. We see him, the camera shot on him actually, and he's lit with a red color actually, suggesting romance is what that's my interpretation. I mean,
It was
yeah.
like, Batman v Superman. Like how Zack Snyder used the visuals properly, but not the story and character arcs. Like that, I interpreted Durandar.
Okay, forget about like the cinematography, guys. Ashwin said that there is no character arc in Dhurandhar, despite Dhurandhar giving us one of the most iconic villains in Indian cinema, the Rahman the Cake.
yes. So I feel
No, I
character arc is so good in Durandar.
Yeah, especially Hamza.
no.
Yeah,
But it was in part two only, not in part one.
yeah.
What
That's
makes
to
you
create
say
a
that,
sense of
Ashwin?
suspense for part two.
Because look, Rahman Dakait is actually a villain. Like he had three spies around him, and he could not even find uh, one of them. But they made a whole movie out of how Hamza wipes out Rahman Dakait's first interview. They made him the king of liars by taking. He took over four of the most dangerous people in Pakistan.
Well, it's interesting to see that your take actually on it actually. Well, what if Rahman Dakir wasn't supposed to be an intelligent character? Because in the trailer itself, if you see, he's introduced as the apex predator, which means he's a guy who does not have any intelligence. He doesn't have any brains. Yeah, with no offense to the Dhurandhar fans. I think he's actually not a very intelligent character. He's known to be like a mad, psychotic animal who basically just kills people, who just has power and all. I think Major Iqbal is a more intelligent character.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling. Look, they took a whole movie to, you know, Hamza was an intelligent character, and Rahman
Yeah.
Dakait was not. You could have took him out in just like some interval of the movie itself. You could have took him out and telling about the time duration. But how could he like finish off Major Iqbal in a Major Iqbal, SP Aslam, and intelligent characters like those characters in one whole movie that took the time period of him for him to wipe out Rahman Dakit's reign.
I think they did actually show like a timeline where in Durandar 2 itself we see actually they showed each and every person being killed actually one by one, and then finally he comes to Major Iqbal. Now that's I think they've taken their time actually, and since it's a movie and not a series actually, if it was a series, definitely as you said they would have developed more details,
Yeah,
more character arc, more fight scenes, and more confrontation scenes, and it would have been much like thrilling on this thing. But since it's a movie, they had to cut it down. So yeah.
And bro, I feel you're being too harsh on this. What else can the movie do other than that? The movie is almost 3 hours. I mean 4 hours actually, and it explores a very big. The story is also really big. It connects different issues in India across the span of years. As we could see the money going into slaughterhouses in Uttar Pradesh and all those political stuff throughout the film. We could see drug dealing from Punjab and all that. And with all this, with all these elements
Mm.
of the storyline, I felt it was great. The pace was great. The plot, the pace of the plot was really good, and the chronology of events too.
So we three actually guys have actually watched this movie. The first rule about this movie is that we don't talk about it. I guess you all would have figured out what movie we're going to review and analyze.
Yeah,
So let's get it started right away.
yeah.
Ashwin and Yuvan, what is your take on the movie? Any technical aspects or anything like that?
Psychologically great movie, and the way they portrayed both the character, no, one character, uh, was great.
I really loved
Spoilers alert, guys.
I really loved the representation of Tyler, who wanted who wanted men to avoid a consumerism world, a world influenced by advertisements, fashion brands, and all. It tells us to escape the world, and you know, it it kind of tells men to escape the real world, and that's what they do. They're working men, and they fight to relieve their stress, escape a routine world. That's what they try to do. And this movie had the greatest plot twist ever I've ever watched. I've never in my dreams even thought
The
of
way
the plot twist.
and the way he communicates it, that consumerism things to the narrator directly at the end of the movie, like when he reveals that he was the one who blasted the building.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of crazy when you realize that this film has been a cult classic for a long time, actually, and people still talk about it. And it talks about how the illusion of consumerism, that is the illusion that the world creates, actually, like the business world creates to for us to get trapped into it. Actually, does it have anything to do with capitalism, or is it like against capitalism, fellas? What do you guys think about it?
I think it's against capitalism, and yeah, it's against capitalism. That's what I think.
But does it have any link towards any other sorts of ideology, even though it doesn't explicitly say it?
Basically
The
tells
film
men,
might.
it tells men, the people of the Fight Club, to avoid luxuries. You as you can see, they live in this house which is really isolated, broken down, and they make
Yeah,
a fortress out of it. And
yeah.
those men don't even have proper beds to sleep in. They're like soldiers, kind of like soldiers who are escaping what real people, normal people would do: sleep, work. They're escaping that normal
uh,
lifestyle.
Whatever we want, that's what is the main idea of the character Tyler Durden.
And it's also to avoid pain. I mean, it's also to withstand pain. As you can see, Tyler, basically the same character. They make soap in the middle of the film, and Tyler, he puts acid on the other character's hand. I forgot the other
Oh
guy's name.
yeah,
Both of them are Tyler, but
but normal.
and then his hand burns, and he has to like withstand the pain. He has to overcome the pain. That's the main point.
As we talk about this film, actually, an interesting fact for the viewers is that do you know this film was actually booed at a very prestigious film festival, and Brad Pitt said this is going to be a great film and this is going to be very successful.
And someone, I think, abused the film, yeah, at the award function.
He actually have been saying that they want collab with the production companies who actually will, like release their films in theaters. Actually, and this is not the first time that's happening. Warner Bros. And Christopher Nolan had a long-standing partnership for a long time. Let it be The Dark Knight, let it be Interstellar. Warner Bros. Has distributed most of Nolan's films, but in Oppenheimer, we see that it's not Warner Bros. But it's Universal Pictures. The reason being is because Christopher Nolan did not like the idea of Warner Bros. Releasing the film or Tenet on the same day as the theatrical release in their OTT platform, ruining the theater experience, which is why Nolan parted his ways with Warner Bros. So, what do you guys think about it? Actually, are theaters dying? Should theaters be eradicated? What do you guys think about it?
When you go to a theater, you forget all that and watch the movie in peace.
Yeah. And I think what Netflix is doing is good for them by profit, not partnering up with production companies and directors which prefer theatrical release. But that kind of ruins the essence of film, because for ages films have been enjoyed in theaters. It has been meant for theaters. It's meant for the big
Exactly.
screen. It's meant for the experience it gives in the theater. But people nowadays, they watch films on the phone. I mean, I completely don't agree with that. I think film should always be watched on a big screen, no matter what. I mean, it's not a YouTube video to watch it on the phone or disrespect it.
Well, I agree with you actually. For a matter of fact, I think when you talk about theater experience, we talk about not only the film, but we talk about the people that are surrounded by us, like the people who love movies, who celebrate movies. So when you're with the same, it's almost like you're in a club or something, and you're watching the movie, and you get that sense of excitement, which is like we see that in a lot of South movies where a lot of people scream at the top of their lungs, and they do all kinds of stuff. Actually, I remember I went to Karuppu, the Tamil movie, a few days back, and I literally saw two seats away from me. A guy was so excited, he removed his shirt, he was celebrating it off. Actually, now that was really funny, but nevertheless, the main point is that movie experience involves the audience and like the social, like conversion or something like that. Actually, guys.
And I feel movies, they build bonds. They connect you with people. For example, over the ages, I've watched a lot of movies, and when I go to the theater, when the movie ends, people have conversations about the movie, and that itself is a good thing. It builds bonds. It, sparks new conversations, and it's a
Yeah,
good way.
instead of being
It's a
confined.
culture. It's a culture.
So, I think movies reflect the society and it inspires the society and the people on the way they think and all kinds of stuff actually.
Yeah.
And I would like to bring up a point, guys. Actually, yes, movies should be watched in theaters, no doubt. But watching in theaters has become a luxury nowadays. Like, not everyone can afford to watch a movie in theater, especially if it's like, for example, the Odyssey that's releasing in IMAX, that are shot with IMAX cameras, releasing in theaters with IMAX projectors and IMAX screens and all the technology. Not everyone can afford it actually, and I think it's more of like a win-win deal when they actually pay like only a particular amount, but they can access to many movies through OTT platforms.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid point, but they're movies. They should be watched on the big screen. And as you can see in Tamil Nadu, the ticket price, minimum ticket price for standard format movies, I think 200, 225, I believe. But in Karnataka and other states, movie tickets soar, like depending on the demand, etc. For example, for Odyssey IMAX, the movie tickets went till 3,300 in Mumbai and Bangalore, and it's still sold
Oh,
out.
that's crazy.
Yeah, people still bought it, even though it's 3,300 rupees.
Yeah, well, I think the craze for Nolan is always there. I think you guys will agree with it.
Yeah, but in Tamil Nadu, it's
Ashwin,
way
do you have
less.
any?
It's only 500. I mean, it's not only 500, but it's way less than other states in India. Tamil Nadu has strict regulations in place. It's basically to make sure everyone watches movie, regardless of their situation, financial situation. Everyone gets to experience a movie.
Okay, that is what movie you guys would recommend actually, like one movie that you guys would recommend to watch for our audience to watch today.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. Okay, what about you, Evan?
Hmm. Any Scorsese film, like The Departed.
Any Scorsese film? Yeah, The Departed is a great movie, isn't it? I would recommend any Tarantino film. I think Tarantino films are actually very entertaining, yeah, and also artistic. But my favorite is always going to be Django Unchained. Yeah, a little bit of a controversial film, but nevertheless, I love it a lot. So, yeah, that's our movie. Before we depart, let's get to our most exciting section that is recasting your characters. Now, let's take a particular movie, guys, and let's imagine the characters in the context of Tamil cinema or Indian cinema.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe as we discussed about Fight Club today, we can recast that.
Yeah, well, I think Fight Club's a great movie, and I think the film. Well, it's very interesting to see that who will play Tyler Durden. But what do you think about it, Yuvan and Ashwin?
It's a great movie. That's all I have to say.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie, and
Uh,
we're recasting it, right?
Yeah, we're recasting it. Actually, you can name any actor in it if you want. That
Narrator,
are
I
obvious.
would back in the 90s. If it is in the 90s, I would cast Ramesh Aravind for the narrator.
That's
Many
a
people,
bold take.
but
That's a bold take. What about you, Yuvan?
I For narrator, I it could be any actor, right? Any industry.
I don't think so. I think the narrator is as important as any of the characters actually, because the narrator sets the tone, reveals the
I
narrative
think the
information.
narrator could be like someone like Simbu or Dhanush,
That's crazy, guys. I mean,
He can be tailored in, I think,
and
but
Tyler
not.
could be. I think Ranveer Singh could be Tyler Durden.
oh, Ranveer Singh's like he's got a lot of energy, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I would say at that time it would be to contrast Ramesh Arvind. It would be Kamal Hassan. He
Kamal
played
Hassan.
Tiger
Yeah.
in.
yeah.
Hmm.
It wouldn't be the current Kamal Hassan, but might be the older version of Kamal.
No, that 90s, 80s.
Yeah,
That
yeah. Because, they don't make these type of films like Fight Club. I mean, it's a very Fight
yeah.
Yeah.
Club. I don't know, but Indian cinema doesn't have these type of films. They usually make only mass movies, movies which are celebrated
Exactly.
by people. And there are some rare
I
instances of
think
thrillers like Drishyam and all.
well, that's true. I mean, there aren't much actors who would like to experiment with new stories and new kinds of narratives. But I think it's very interesting when you realize that, as you were saying, even the mass movies and all those stuff. Actually, what if there is like, what if this mass films and all these things were made in Hollywood? Actually, what do you guys think about it?
Hmm.
Uh,
I think it would have been even
maybe only for like with the screen presence needed. Maybe Hugh Jackman can do that kind of those kind of films.
and
What
it would
about
Hugh
you,
Jack,
Yuvan?
have been bolder. Like for example, movies. Some movies in Indian cinema, if it was directed by a Hollywood director, the main character could have died in the end realistically,
That's true.
and the message is
Well,
way bolder,
guys,
more
when was
disturbing.
the last time you guys watched?
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, fellas, when was the last time you guys watched a proper horror film in Indian cinema? Because I feel most of the horror films are made into horror comedy and doesn't even scare you at all.
13B. Yeah, it came out in 2008, I think. It's a movie of it stars Madhavan.
Movie name?
I think the director of 13B. Yavarum Nalam.
Hmm.
What about
I
you,
think
Yuvan?
I
of
can't remember the
24.
last time I've watched a horror movie in Indian cinema, but I don't know. I don't really like Indian cinema in terms of
Oh,
different
No, that can't.
themes.
You can't.
In
That.
terms of different themes like horror movies, they don't have a lot. They barely even explore. So there's some horror movies which come out like Bhool Bhulaiya and other random Hindi movies and other movies. These type of horror movies are like they just add a bit of comedy to it, and they think it's funny, but it's really cringe and I don't know. It's not that scary too.
You can tell that in case of horror movies, but not the whole Indian cinema. You can tell. It's nice.
Indian cinema is nice, but I feel they don't explore bold themes much.
exactly.
I mean, I also like Indian cinema. I love Tamil cinema. I like the mass movies too. But still, I have to be honest with it. There are very rare films even in Tamil cinema which really explore a bold theme, and that you can notably see it in Kamal Haasan. And I feel Rajini. That's why Rajini is praised more. He's getting more hype, more praise than what Kamal Haasan is. Kamal Haasan is more underrated than Rajini because of this. Rajini was making family movies, movies which were suitable for family audiences. Kamal Hassan was boldly exploring different type of movies. He made a gangster film, as you can see, Nayakan. He does romantic films. He does action films. He acts as a villain in films. The stories are so different.
And all of them
Yeah, yeah.
psychological
It's a
film.
psychological film.
I guess we're done with today's podcast. Actually, I hope you all had a great time, and
Yeah.
I hope our audience also had a great time. Actually, for more podcasts, for more content like this, follow us on Instagram and YouTube. I'll see you guys later. Cheers, guys.
Yes.